Yo, this is WSoul13 bringing you Raid Shadow Legends. And today we're going to be doing the guaranteed summon event for Staltus Dragonbane, right? Right off the bat, what I think has been happening is that Plarium has figured out that the guaranteed summon events have been the best value this year. So, early in the year, you could have gotten Weethier, Kyoku, or Sisha for 15, 15, and 12 Sacred Shards. If you have been diamond handing those shards, like I tell you all the time, then yes, you could have gotten one of those champs if you had anywhere from 12 to 15 Sacreds at a time. And any of those three would be account-changing champs for a lot of people, right? So I'm walking around, I'm getting my steps in, trying something different, see if you guys like it. So what is one of the main reasons to diamond hand those shards is the fusion events is the first one. So this year there was Mighty Uko and there was Helicath, with Helicath being clearly the best fusion champ probably ever that they've done, just because of how impactful he is to any account, and most accounts will immediately see a power boost as soon as they get Helicath, because you have access to an Ultra Nightmare Clan boss team, right? And that way you can farm up the shards to get you things like this, Staltus Dragonbane, which they're offering up a guaranteed summon event for the first time in a long time. And I feel like he is good. So we'll go back to this kit real quick and we'll talk about this kit. The first is an A1 20% decreased turn meter if the target is under a debuff. It's very easy to get debuffs up to anything because the game does revolve around debuffs more than just raw damage, you know, and that's just part of the way the game is played. And then the A2 is a stun that's a higher percentage chance to land than Seal of the Drake stun, while also hitting way harder. So Staltus Dragonbane is like a god tier nuker for defense champs. It is hard to build a defensive nuker because it's very hard to get the increased depth into an arena team. And that's just kind of the reality of it, right? So ideally you want to have somebody put increased depth up, and then somebody else will put AoE decreased depth and weaken, and then you could hit hard with the skill. You have a chance to stun. The other side of that is, you know, you need to build accuracy if you're going to want to use the stun for arena, and it's hard to have both stun and damage in arena. So there are some like caveats there, but for general content though, Staltus is going to be one of the best champs for like just general content because of how hard he hits and the AoE control, and then the turn meter decrease for the boss fights. He is going to be good probably everywhere you take him in the game. And then the A3 is increased depth on all allies, and then you either get AoE decreased crit damage or AoE decreased speed. Unfortunately, the AoE decreased speed is not 100% chance to put on because there's some conditions, right? And you know, that's kind of unfortunate because AoE decreased speed is so good in things like Hydro Boss, things like Spiders, things like Fire Knight, right? He does have a multi-hit A1, so that means he is going to be okay for Fire Knight. So, I don't know. Kind of unfortunate there. I wish they have just stuck with one, but you gotta give him a downside, I guess. So the passive is a whenever weaken, decreased depth, or poison is placed on Staltus Dragonbane, he reflects it back to the attacker, and damage increases by 5% for each debuff on the target. So I don't know about this damage increase by 5%. Does this mean that it's a plus 50% damage increase for an enemy with a full stack of debuffs? Because that is pretty sick if that's the case. So that part I'm not 100% sure on if that's how it works. But if it is if that is exactly how it works, my God, he would be a really good one. He might end up being a really, really good one. But even if you take that part of the equation away, and then he has the increase all death, increase ally death, all battles, 30%. great aura. Even if you take away the variability of the passive, he's still really, really good. Just because the multipliers are amazing, just because he hits hard, right? And he does have the AoE stun. And AoE stun is one of the best abilities in the game, hands down. So let's start to do the summons, and let's see what happens. I've freed up some space. It looks like I'm going to be short a few ancient shards, so I'll need to go to the shop real quick to get the last bits of that. Alright, here we go. See what happens. Alright, so there is a big drawback, obviously, to doing the guaranteed ancients, wherein you don't participate in the 2x of the epic pulls, right? So you're gonna get a lot less epics doing this. So that is actually a big downside to it because of how amazing epics are in the game. And you really do want to be able to like stack up on epics. Juliana is actually pretty good now. So they've buffed Juliana recently, and she is pretty freaking good now. So one of my first mistakes in this game was I booked out Romero. This was like 3 years ago. I booked him out because I thought, hey, Juliana is one of the best epics of the game during that time. There weren't really any like clan boss epics in Raid yet. And I thought, you know, I'm going to pull a Juliana, right? And I think I didn't pull Juliana until, what, after I got Arbiter already? So praying to pull a specific champ is probably one of the worst strategies you can do in Raid, right? But let's see what we get. So the balance of power in Raid has shifted a lot towards the epics, but there are still some really standout rares. So Frozen Banshee, you know, still a great rare, still one of the best rares in the game, still one of the best champs in the game, period, right? Boss Killer, she can solo the dragon, stage 20, stage 24, easy, right? So Vogoth, that's a great pull right there. So if you don't have Vogoth yet, Vogoth is a great pull. So let's see what else we get, right? Siege Hulk, not really a great epic there. So it's been a little weird. So it looks like I am gonna get some coins from the Revenant event, which, you know, let's see if that actually gives me anything. I didn't actually check on like the coins and if they put a champ chase up or whatever. Usually they'll put like a champ chase or a summon rush over the weekend. So let's see what's going on there. And did they do a 10x along with this pull? I didn't actually check on the 10x. So let's go and check that out later once we're done and see. I don't think I pulled any of the 10x champs though. Right? What do we got? What do we got? Ruella. Oh, that might have been a 10x champ right there. I think they're doing a bunch of 10x champs from the new faction, the little, whatever they're called, Sylvan Elves or Wood Elves or whatever elves. I think the new faction, honestly, is like kind of their take on Night Elves. You know, they kind of do aesthetically remind me of Night Elves, where they're more like nature-based elves or whatever. You know, while Night Elves was my favorite faction, my favorite race to play in Warcraft 3 and the Frozen Throne, Their aesthetic is something I've never been a big fan of, to be honest. So what happened here? Am I out of? Oh shoot! Did I get it or no? I am out of ancient shards. Oh, cool. No. I know what's happening here. I haven't collected, so I've actually ended up buying ancient packs. I was like, what the heck happened? All right, there we go. So I had to spend 1,800 gems to get this guy. I think it's a good little value for me. So I actually haven't been playing that hard recently, which is another thing. So here, looks like I'm going to be... I did trigger Mercy, right? I don't think I got a legendary. I didn't notice. Maybe I was looking away. Up, and here's our guy. It looks like we're at least 150 deep into Mercy. So let's take a look. Champs. See what we got, right? So let's take a look at... Let's stop and take a look real quick at the champs. What do we get? So... Alright. Epics. I think we did get 2 of Ruella. Sylvan Watchers. Yeah, that's what they're called. And did we get any more Sylvan Watcher type epics? No, we did not. Old Crocus. And then for legendaries, I think... Yep. So we should be hot on the next extra legendary event for Ancients, if ever they put that up again. And I'm pretty sure they will, because a lot of people apparently like that. Bonus legendary events, they're one of the most they're probably one of the worst events that you could do. So let's see what ended up happening here. How many coins do we end up getting? 27,000 coins. Wow. And let's see if they did a champ chase for it or not. I don't think they did, because they're tying it into this Revenant champ training. Yep. Nope. No champ chase for it. No summon rush. So they're tying it all into Revenant's path. So if I were to spend, well, you know, we're already here. Why don't we do some bonus stuff and just spend the coins? And I'll tell you where I think is the best place to get to would be. So I definitely would prefer avoiding the chicken. Like, let's see if we have enough to get down to that legendary book. I'm not even going to do any math. I'm just going to go straight down and see what happens. So we're going to go gems on this one. I would love to get those core hammers, but maybe. I'm not sure I'll have enough coins to go all the way to the legendary book. So let's do some quick math right here. That'll be 5k. This one will be 10, 20. There really is no way to get to the legendary book, even after you did the guaranteed summon event. So that's actually kind of a downer, because it looks like you're going to have to settle for Chaos Ores and maybe this, what do you call that? Immortal or Eternal Soulstone? Looks like that is that a feast for 40,000 coins? Wow, what a waste of coins right there. Seriously. Okay, so you do need to get keys is the other part, right? So you need to get one of these keys. So which one would be better? Core Hammer? I think Core Hammer is better than XP Boost. Because you will need a key, right? I'll need a key. I don't have any keys. Did I get a key up here? And then maybe I can pick up those coins up there pretty easily. So let's see what happens down here. Yeah, I'd rather get... Let's see. Let's go all the way down. Or only if I'm getting the Lego books. I don't need to go down that direction, right? Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna try to get that Eternal Soul Coin. Unfortunately, we're gonna get a chicken. and Immortal Soulstone is what it's called. Yeah, good. So I think that is good value right there. That Immortal Soul coin is pretty good value. It's not a legendary book, and I still have 14 to go, which means I could spend it to try to get some of these coins, which are always good to get, especially when you're like more in endgame. Like me, I'm in endgame. And then XP boost would be okay, I guess. Chaos Ore right there. So I could go for this. Was this a legendary? What is this? The legendary 6-star Chaos Ore. That might be something to go for with my remaining coins. So I have. Or what is this? This is a 5-star legendary Chaos Ore. So I could do a. I should probably just get the 6-star Chaos Ore. Because like once you get the end game too, these Chaos Ores actually do help a lot. And then I won't have enough for that legendary book unless I do some runs. So doing runs right now is not really a top priority for me. I mean, there is kind of a way for me to get that legendary book if I participate in, I think, the Dragon Tournament, if I'm not mistaken. So let's take a quick look at that, and then we'll call it a day. Yep, I still have 1 day left on the Dragon Tournament, so I might actually do this Dragon Tournament just to get these coins right here for the Soul Stones. Yeah, so I feel like we did pretty good. I feel like we did great, and I feel like I didn't get another legendary, which would have been cool if I did. But since I will most likely hit Mercy really soon on Ancients anyway, maybe it's fine because I could just wait for the bonus legendary event and then I can get 2 there. But really, the reason why you don't like the bonus legendary events is 2 out of however many legendaries we have in the game now, 200 maybe or 100. 2 out of 100 legendaries, the chances of you getting the exact 2 you want, or at least even 1 of what you really want, is really low. Whereas the guaranteed and the fusion events allow you to get an approximation of something that you really want, right? It may not be the exact one-to-one thing that you want, but it's going to be a close approximation of something really important to your account. Helicat, though, is probably the best unkillable champ that you can get outside of Void Summons, right? I think he's a Spirit Affinity champ. So, you could look at it that way. Or you could get Helicap, right? In things like this, if you missed out on Helicap or whatever. That would be one of the like good non-void legendaries to get. So I mean, there's Duchess, there's Kaimar, there's all sorts of stuff. But I'm looking at this Dragon event because I actually do have a endgame Night Revenant team that can farm dragons, and it's 2x drop on. So I was thinking about skipping this entirely, but because of, you know what, I'll end it on this because I feel like I did this by faction, right? So let's do that by faction. Yes, and I'm just gonna show you something pretty incredible right here, honestly. Because I do have Theodore. So Theodore does allow me to get points. And then maybe I can just fill out the rest of that with what exactly, right? So maybe I can just fill out the rest of that with bringing to 40 some of these guys, or maybe even to 30 some of these rares. That might be a good little idea right there. Now, for more food for like fusion events or whatever. Yeah, we can do something like that, or maybe just diversify a little bit. Yeah, and then I think that's fine. So that should give me some tournament points, right? Yeah, we'll do a quick run, and then I'll I'll sign out. So yeah, I really think that was a great event. If only this was a champ chase rather than that Knight Revenant coin thing. So the Revenant path, my opinion on these, like Revenant path, Heroes path, and all that, pick your rewards type deal, you know, they just found a clever way basically to deny you a legendary book. So if this was the regular champ chase they've set up for most of the lifespan of Raid, I would have probably gotten 2 legendary books off that 150 summon. So, you know, that's something you have to think about when you do these kinds of things. Like, there is a little bit of a downside. There's like a drawback, right? And one of the drawbacks is that maybe you don't get the absolute best value for your summons, you know? And I mean, is this Plarium just trying to squeeze out an extra $1 or so out of you? The answer to that obviously is a yes, because legendary books are a scarce resource in the game. And you don't really... Well, so I did this as kind of a test to see if it'll work. It should work, right? Knight Revenant. It is a Knight Revenant only build, and Theodore is obviously the best solo champ for Dragons 25. So this kind of works out for me, right? And I got tournament points, so that's good. And then I get some extra coins as well. So I'm pretty sure once I get to 1700, that's an extra 1700. Is it gonna be 1700 coins exactly? That's actually a good question. So we spent 20 energy there. We got 26. It's gonna be slightly over 2,000 points. So I might still be short of the legendary book, which is kind of annoying now that I think about it. So we'll see how it goes if I go all the way through to get those coins. And also, yeah, because I think I can probably play through this event right now. I'm not really doing anything. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. And then we'll see how the new fusion goes. It's gonna be an epic fusion this time, so they usually do like a reprieve right before Christmas. So Christmas is a big fusion event for Raid, and we'll see if they give us a good Christmas fusion. The last year's Christmas fusion, I think, was Satura, which honestly is one of the best fusions they've ever done for the game. So hopefully we'll get something close, because I think Tatura, you could have gotten him without pulling any shards. So it's really hard to top a fusion like that, like getting an impactful champ like Tatura without any fragments, you know, without any shard pulls, right? So we'll see what happens down the line. Okay. Looks like the range here. Okay. I think there's a good chance that I'll be able to get that legendary book after all. Now that I've seen how many coins you can get, I feel like I might be able to get that legendary book. So that's good. I'm gonna try to go for that legendary book, and then I'll see you all next time. Peace out.